Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm Nikki McCutchen. I'll be your host for this evening. These are always so much fun because we just get to hear about what we're experiencing with the technology. So we're just doing a community night tonight, as well as what you're seeing of those people around you too. I mean, it is literally every week I'm hearing amazing, wonderful, good things that people are experiencing with this technology. So excited to be a part of this community and this company. So let me start with our medical disclaimer. All of our technology is not intended to treat, cure, diagnose, or prevent any disease. If you are pregnant or nursing or on any kind of medications, we always recommend that you check with your preferred healthcare practitioner first, just like you would be recommended to do that on any type of diet or exercise program as well. So with that, we are going to get started. And I would love to hear if there's anybody that wants to come on and share some things that we were talking about. Vicki and I were just talking before the call about how I'd remembered. So I don't know, I've probably been doing these calls for maybe about 2 years now, but been on calls, listening to other people before that. So over 3 years now, I've been doing this. And I remember when I first joined the business, probably for the first year, maybe into the second year, that Vicki would have terrible migraines. And so she would wear this bandana, and patches on the inside of the bandana. And I haven't seen her do that in a really, really, really long time. So I don't know if that's something you've even thought about lately, Vicki.
I have not. And that is the whole thing with this technology is like these surprise blessings just keep coming up. And I'm like, thank you, Lord. I didn't really think about it until you were saying it. And I was like, praise the Lord.
Mm.
Hun, if you remember, I used to take my bandana, Pastor Ed. I used to take my bandana and do the brain balance protocol with eons. And it kind of depended on how bad it was. Sometimes I would put a few carnosine in there with the eons.
Mm.
So but yeah, having that on, I mean, that really, really helped me. I'm still a little bit sensitive when the barometric pressure is high, but I have noticed such a huge difference.
Yeah. Have you even put on a bandana with patches? Can you even think
I
of the last
I
time?
think I've done it once and it was many months ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't
I
done
mean,
it yet this year.
it's stuff like that, right? Like it's things
Yes,
that just get
little
better because
surprises.
yes, we're living our lives, we're enjoying what we're doing, we're going about, doing what we're called to be doing and we forget about the things that just go away that aren't limiting us anymore. So,
Yes.
yeah, so I was talking to someone who, just really struggles with just some you know just not feeling well and not wanting to get out and go do things and be
Not
around
motivated.
people. Yes, just different things like that. And so I was talking to her about how I had a client who that was, she really struggled with how she felt, on the inside when she had to go do things. And
Wow.
so she had, that's the whole reason she started the technology. And her the things weird things that were going on in her heart, those got better. She was had all kinds of readings on her whoop band
Oh,
where her she was burning more calories, and all this stuff. And so she was paying attention to all those things that were wonderful. And it was about 4 months that she'd been, and I was like, well, what about all the feelings of being ramped up, how is that, and she's like, oh my gosh, I mean, her mouth just like hit the floor, like, I can't even tell you the last time I felt, super ramped up. And
yeah.
so I was telling somebody that today, just saying that I hear that often. There's a calming feeling that will come over people and they will
Yes.
just feel more relaxed and better able to deal with whatever's going on. I was talking to another gal who it was I think it was her sister. It was either her sister or her daughter and they've just been on using the technology for a short amount of time. And there was some major situation that would have just totally set her off. And she would have just been so upset and so worried and all the things. And she did not respond like that at all. And so they were like shocked. So it's like,
Oh,
okay, could this be like we've only been using this technology for, 3 or 4 weeks? Could that really make that big of a change? Because she never would have been calm over the
yeah.
situation she was dealing with. So that was pretty cool too. What about
Well,
you guys?
I notice it because I don't know. I guess my body was always in that fight or flight mode. You know what I mean? It was
Mm,
before, the technology many years ago, and because that was my normal,
mhm.
if I felt any other kind of way, I just didn't feel normal.
Right.
So it's so different with this technology because the Eon alone just calms everything down.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's huge. So very, very thankful. What about anybody else? Does anybody else? Hi, Gregory. Hi, Maria. Does anybody else have any other stories they'd like to share with us?
I do.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right. So you guys know that on Monday I was really excited about doing Nikki's call, and I changed it up a little bit. I always like to change things. It was supposed to be X39, and I did the whole thing about the cellular regeneration and not no 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 just the cellular performance.
Performance. Mhm.
And I got so excited about it, and I said, "What I'm going to do for Wednesday?" And so Wednesday, I did the four pillars. I don't know. I think Nikki, you got on the call a little
Yeah, it
bit
was
on.
great. Hmm.
So I was looking at my Hume band, and to my astonishment, last week I went 6.1 days reverse, and this week so far I'm reading it right now just so that I don't misquote or do something different. Um, Post this. And there's a reason why I'm saying this week so far, I'm 4.6 days added to my life this week. Okay. So what that means is that it's reverse aging at its best, right? And I
Absolutely.
know we might get in trouble with compliance, but you know what? This is Hume. I'm not saying nothing about the patches. Is working out has been such a blessing, and that's what it was all about yesterday. And I know I might have stepped on some people's toes, because you reading into personal lives, but my intention is that I want everybody to feel what I feel, right?
Mhm.
Like when you're sharing this technology, Nikki, you know where you were before and you know where you are now. And
Mhm.
there's nothing in the world, there's nobody that can pay me enough money to feel the way that I feel when I'm helping people. Right. So when we went away to Hawaii with Vicky, I only worked that one day a week, and the rest of it was just a lot of relaxing, a lot of walking. We weren't just staying still, but we were constantly moving. So we hardly worked out. And I looked at my band back then, and I'm like 0 days added to my week, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like I haven't experienced that, and so when we got back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I hurt my shoulder, so I didn't work out for another week. So it was 2 weeks. And those 2 weeks were 0 days added, meaning there was no reversal of age. But once I started getting back into working out, it's like 4, 5, 6 days, sometimes 7 days reversal in a week. What does that tell you, right? It's like when you work out, guys, our bodies need it so much. And I sometimes I call Nikki and I see her jumping and I'm like, what in the world? She's like laughing at me, like, don't judge me. I'm moving around. And what Nikki's doing. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do, Nikki? Because
Yeah.
people might find that funny, but you know what? It's the body moving. And as long as you're moving the body, doesn't matter what you're doing, you don't have to train like you're Mr. Olympia or anything. You just got to move your body, and I'm so excited about it. Just want to share it with everybody that if you move the body and you use this technology, man, great things are going to happen to you. That's all.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So good,
Love that.
right? I mean,
Love that.
yes. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Movement is medicine. Definitely. Movement is medicine. So I bounce on a rebounder. We actually have a treadmill and a rebounder in our living room. So if we are not, doing I literally will come to my house. It's like, let's have a little spa retreat with some exercise, gotten in there. So I've got like a beamer mat. So there's a beamer pad and then there's a PEMF mat. So Chad's sitting on a beamer mat. I'm sitting on a PEMF. I have the red light cap. So if we're not sitting on our mats, having, good, healthy, current and increasing our circulation and all of that, if we're not sitting, then we're, either walking or bouncing. So yeah, bouncing on a rebounder is great for your lymphatic system. You can obviously get a very sweaty workout on that too if you want to run as you're, bouncing. And there's all kinds of amazing videos out there that you can do along with that. So, but yeah, movement is medicine to be able to move. The other thing that I found, with the patch technology as well is like what Pastor Ed's talking about, is that I've been lifting really heavy. I've started to really lift really heavy because as we age, we need that osteoblastic activity is what it's called for our bones, so that our bones don't get brittle and weak. And so as well as the more muscle mass we have, then it allows our body to not, be able, if we do fall or we do have something go wrong, we can still catch ourselves. Or muscle also burns more fat, and it actually burns fat for 3 to 5 days when you lift really, really heavy versus 3 to 5 hours after doing a cardio workout. So as we age, it's so important that we try to lift really, really heavy. And that's what I loved about Pastor Ed's call the other night, is that it's not about you jumping into the gym and doing what I can do, and lift, super heavy weights. It's about starting where you are. So if that means that for you, it's just your body weight and it's you walking out to the mailbox and back to your house, and then walking down to the neighbor's house and then back to your house the next day, and just progressively increasing the load over time so that you can build up to where you can potentially lift some weights, or you do squats, you just do body weight squats hanging on to your countertop, or, squat down low enough to where you're not actually going to sit on the couch, but you just touch and then you go back up, and you do that until you actually can't do it anymore. Like your muscles are done, not to the point of, okay, I'm tired and I want to be done. No, like I'm not going to be able to do one more squat. So you want to put your muscles in that load at whatever degree that is. So even like push-ups, you can do push-ups against a wall. And even if you start with one, so you're standing up and you're just, pushing up on the wall. And, the next day you do 2, and just gradually build up over time. And then, you pull your feet out a little bit farther from the wall until you can get down on the floor and your knees are on the floor. And then you can lift your knees up off the floor. So those tiny little progressive things, especially when you're starting out, depending on where you are, that's not going to take a lot of time, right? We had the whole thing with David Schmidt, where he's trained on that. There's all these studies that have come out to where doing cardio workouts to your max. So for me, that's sprinting. Okay. So sprinting for 20 seconds, 2 times in a session, for 2 times a week. Okay. So for you, it may be walking as fast as you can for 20 seconds, and then, just getting outside of your house, and doing just slowly walking, and then just, tell your phone, set a timer for 20 seconds. And then you just walk as fast as you possibly can for 20 seconds. And then when you're done, you turn around and you walk back home, and then maybe you try to do it one more time. So just to get that cardio going, and that's really what we need. So, but it's the weightlifting, it's the heavy lifting that we actually need. So what I found, like with the patches, they really help. So I have like low back, I've had low back stuff my whole life. And so I always wear my patches on my back. And the interesting thing is that this was something that was interesting for me to try to figure out and learn. And it's probably true for a lot of people, is that the difference between pain and actually this is something that is good for me, that's giving me that osteoblastic activity, versus crossing over into injury pain. And so I would never lift really heavy, on like squat machines, or the machines like where you lay down and your feet are up and you press really hard, because my back, it would hurt, it would hurt my back. I can feel it in my back. So I was translating that to hurt, versus actually what I've noticed in doing that, my back actually feels better. It feels different. It feels, I don't necessarily have pain. I feel my lower back more, but it's not like the pain that I would have before. And so sometimes I think it's hard for people to work through that, because it was for me, and I've been a personal trainer. So I've done all of those things. So you might need a personal trainer. I know Pastor Ed and Vicki have a personal trainer, and you might need that to get through some of those things, to have someone to be able to talk it through with you, and, so that you can decide what you can actually tolerate and do next. I think Tyler, he may work with people long distance and on Zoom. I have a personal trainer I highly recommend, and he has all kinds of, he works with clients all over the place, not just here in Tulsa. And so he and his wife are a really great recommendation too. So, but yeah, the energy enhancer patches have been fantastic on my back, along with, it just depends on, like, so I feel it in my knee. I've had reconstructive knee surgery. I have had cartilage removed twice. So I patch my knee on those days where I'm doing leg days, or I'm doing actually Pilates on a reformer. There's a certain move that we get in that I really feel my knee talking to me. Well, if I patch it up really good, like we had that call the other night with the guy who was talking about the San Francisco 49ers trainer and how he uses patches for the players. He puts an Eon on the inside and a glutathione on the outside. And so I will do that as well. I actually put a carnosine like kind of on top too, like right, not on my kneecap, but just a little bit above, more on the muscle there. And then I wore my X49 in that ST36 spot that's kind of down from the kneecap on the right-hand side, about 4 finger widths. Kind of, if you can feel in there, you can kind of feel between the tibia and the fibula, where there's like a little spot that feels different. It's not hard. It feels open. And I put my X49 right there too. So if I have big, days where I'm doing a lot of lifting or squatting or pushing, with my legs, then I will also, patch my back and patch my knee. So, but I can tell a complete and total difference in the amount of, zinging that my knee or my back really doesn't do that, but what my knee will do when I forget my patches or when I've patched well. So, anyway, yeah, but I've had so many stories this last week. I don't know if anybody else wants to share. You can feel free to raise your hand or unmute yourself, but multiple people that have recently started on the patches that are sleeping better. That's so common, right? Like I see people sleeping better all the time, more energy, eat less brain fog. There are some people that the water is super important that you drink, because a lot of times the water, this was interesting. I was listening to a doctor talk about this, how we kind of talk about sometimes it's detox symptoms. So you can have things that will come up that you will feel, that are bothersome. And so a lot of times we'll be like, okay, well, that's really good because the patches are working, which it is, but we'll call it detox. Well, sometimes it also just means, which is what this doctor was talking about, is you're just not getting enough water, because the patches will require more hydration, because there are more cells that are now communicating with each other, and that signal is being passed throughout your body, talking to your different, cells in what it needs to, regenerate, support, give energy, whatever it is that your body needs. And so all of those things that happen in our body need hydration. Every single system that our body runs off of has to have hydration for that to work. So that's not just a principle for patches, that's just a principle for health. So Pastor Ed talked about that on Wednesday. So definitely go back and look at patchtheway.com or Patch the Way on YouTube, and you can find the video from last night. It was really great on just overall health. And just really great starting places too, it doesn't have to be, it's about where you are and starting somewhere with your health. So anybody else have any stories they want to share with us?
Well, I'll share.
Awesome.
I love the patches, and now I love the water machine. I feel fabulous already. I mean, I feel like Wonder Woman, like all the time. But, all my life I was into nutrition, wellness, exercise. And, Pastor Ed was right on about the dopamine and the serotonin that you release when you exercise. That's why people want to exercise, because of that. I'll call it a high, but that wonderful feeling that exercise gives you makes you feel like I feel like Superwoman when I exercise. And I feel amazing. I've been putting the water all over my face before I drink it, so I get a light treatment on my skin. I think my skin is looking younger and younger to me. I put it in my eyes too, because I have cataracts, and so I'm putting it in there to try to keep it from accelerating. And any wound that I have, if I have any boo-boos, which I'm very accident prone, I have a huge burn right now. besides patching, I put the water on it before I drink it. It's amazing. Oh my gosh, it's fabulous. When you put it in your eyeballs and on your face, I was like, wake up. I can't explain it. It's really cool. Anyway, we had to go up north last week, for something sad because my brother-in-law suddenly passed away, my husband's younger brother. So we had to go up north to take care of everything. And we stayed with my sister. Now my sister hasn't been wearing her patches because her boyfriend teases her about it. He
Oh
calls
my
it white
gosh.
witchcraft. He calls it white witchcraft. Well, guess what? He had 3 areas of pain. I think it was his neck or his back, his hernias. He has to have hernia surgery soon, and his big toe. I put that E on him, and he could not believe it. He was having like hardly any pain, any in those 3 places. And I did put ice wave on him too, for his toe. He couldn't believe it. So
Love
he
that.
can't tease her anymore.
That's
All you got to do is put that patch on him, and they're believers. Yeah, he
That's
was.
right.
He couldn't believe it. Oh, it doesn't hurt. Oh, he didn't believe it. So that was fun. That was a fun
Yeah.
part of the trip, and I
That's
love that.
amazing.
Just get it
Yes,
on them.
that's
Just
right.
patch them.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
patch 'em up.
amazing.
Yep,
I
they'll be
love that.
believers. Yep,
Yes,
me
that's so
too.
fantastic. Yes, thank you so much for sharing. That's awesome. Well, we just have a few minutes left, so I'm just going to go over real quick over the technology. We've just kind of been sharing stories, but just so you know, it's FDA recognized as a class 1 medical device and a general wellness product. So again, not any crazy things. Actually recognized by the FDA, y'all. So we have 90 clinical studies. There's over 250 patents now, which is just remarkable. And we're continuing to go with that, right? Like our company is not stopping to research, to develop, to come up with new technology. That is what is so incredible about this company. This is not just a one product company that we just hang our hat on. No, we are literally coming up with revolutionary technology over and over again. Nothing else that's on the market. There's no comparison. That's what this company is about. So you can't go and get this kind of technology anywhere else. I often tell people that really the only great comparison is a stem cell injection. And that's still not even a great comparison because when you go in, they tell you, well, we have no idea if this is going to work for you. Well, guess what? This tiny little technology right here has a 96% effectiveness rate, which is why Diane can put it on, her sister's boyfriend who thinks this is crazy town. And then he's shocked out of his mind. 96% effectiveness rate. So that is remarkable. Absolutely huge. A lot of times it depends on somebody's hydration as to whether they notice things or not. But the other thing is the technology can work very, very deep because we just won the Biotech Award of the Year for Stem Cell Innovation with this X39 technology along with our Cellergized Morning. So this supports the stem cells. This helps to turn on a peptide that causes stem cells to then be regenerated. And so that combination has won us the Stem Cell Innovation of the Year. That too, again, truly remarkable. I know David Schmidt, I was just looking today, he won another award that is an international award for Entrepreneur of the Year. Okay, that is, again, that's what this company is slated for. We are continually slated to win more and more awards, to get more and more well known because of the technology that's going to be created by our amazing inventor founder David Schmidt. So this is medical grade plastic, completely hypoallergenic. I already told you it was patented. There's nothing else in the world that does what this technology does. There's also nothing else out there that is formulated the way that this is formulated. So you can get the individual ingredients and put them together if you want to. That's going to cost you about $200 more if you want to go that route than to do it the way that David Schmidt created it for us, to be supportive so that that 4% of people who struggle with amino acids or with electrolytes, that is all then in here to give their body the balance of zinc and copper, to give their bodies what they need so that if they are struggling or not noticing anything with the patches, then we have something to say, okay, that's definitely something you want to, let's get you on that and see if you start noticing anything. So, but that's the other thing, just because you don't notice anything doesn't mean things are not happening. So I always tell people that you need to give this enough time to have measurable results. So working with your doctor over a span of time, 6 to 12 months, to where you're going back in and having regular checkups so you can see if that CRP, the inflammation markers, have gone down, so that you can see if your A1C has come down, so that you can see if your blood pressure is reduced. So you have to work with your doctor if you're on any kind of medication as well, because you want to tell them, I want to get off this medication. And so will you work with me to help me do that? I want to be able to get off this medication. So I want to make sure that I'm getting checked to be able to do that. And the only thing you may have changed is using this technology, but that's just it. Your body is designed, once you have those tools, once the body has what it needs, it's designed to heal and regenerate itself. That's just the way God created us. So that's how we're made. That's why when we get a cut, it heals. So eventually, no matter how old we are, no matter how long it takes, and if you're using this technology, those cuts and aches and pains are actually going to heal faster than they did before you were using the technology as you age. I can say that is 100% true. It's like what Diane was talking about. That's what's been true for her too. And now with the water, I was just thinking, Diane, I was talking to an acupuncturist the other day, and I totally forgot. So I'm glad you said that about putting it on your face and in your eyes and stuff, because he was like, you need to put this in your bath water. And I was like, oh, I do need to put it in my bath water. So it's like, okay, I want to try that sometime too. So, but I've heard several people putting it on their skin as well. So I just think it's fantastic, right? To do all of those things. So this is just all works through your own body's heat. So once it's placed on the body, it doesn't have to be placed on the body. It can be placed on the outside of the clothes. So like right now, I'm pretty warm up here in my upstairs room, and it's actually really nice outside. So we have the windows open, but I've got these bright lights glaring on me. So I feel really warm. So I can feel that body heat radiating off of me. Okay. So that heat that's radiating off of me is actually, it can be seen through night vision goggles or thermographic imaging, and it's low grade infrared light. That's why it has all the different colors. So that actually hits the center of this patch, goes back into the body, turning on GHK copper peptide, which is truly remarkable, counted as the fountain of youth. GHK is just incredible. Look it up. Do a ChatGPT or go on PubMed and look up all the studies. It was found in the body over 50 years ago. So there's tons of research on GHK copper peptide. So it does support regenerative cells. So that's why we got this Stem Cell of the Year award, because that's what it does. If you turn on your own body's stem cells, anything is possible. Your body can decide to do anything it wants to do. So it's so important that you also, you're going to help your body with that talk that Pastor Ed gave last night of eating healthier, of drinking clean water, paying attention to what you're eating, trying to get exercise. All of those things are going to help your body get rid of toxins. So when we are in a toxic overloaded state, our body has to be able to get those out so that we can have maximum regenerative effort. But this is a dynamic duo that allows your body, you actually have access to something that's less than a cup of coffee a day, that allows your body, gives your body what it needs to try to regenerate. Think about all of the people out there who are taking their medications. They're going to the doctor. They're taking their medications. What are they doing to regenerate? What? Okay. If you're exercising, if you are actually doing resistance training, heavy weightlifting, you're resetting 87 genes to a younger, healthier state. 87. Excellent. Please exercise. Please do that resistance training. That's something you're doing to reset those genes, to allow your body to have some things that it needs to try to overcome some things. Okay. When you put this technology on, tiny little sticker, super easy, put it on, done, right? Go on about my day. Guess what happens? 4,000 genes reset to a younger, healthier state. Does not get any easier than that. My hour in the gym, are you kidding me? Obviously, I'm still going to do that because I want those 87 genes. I want those to reset with this 4,000 over here. Compounding effect, left and right. I'll take my measly little 87, but I definitely want my 4,000, right? So you want to have something going on in your body that's regenerating things. Truly, truly powerful, remarkable. Supporting your immune system, supporting your cardiovascular system, supporting your collagen. So Diane was talking about even just with the water, having that on her skin. But that's also, this is helping from the inside. So she's drinking the water and it's helping. She's wearing the technology, activating GHK copper peptide. It's telling the collagen to go to work. So she's got multiple angles now. We all do, that our bodies are having access to regeneration, which is it just blows my mind. So wound healing, she talked about that. So there is literally so many things that GHK does in the body. Those are just 5 that I gave you, 5. So definitely take a look at it. Your ROI. So if you are a business owner, you understand that your return on your investment is something that you take very seriously as a business owner. So I want you to take that very seriously for your health. What are you doing that is giving you a return on your investment for your health? Hopefully you're eating right. Hopefully you're exercising. Those are giving you fantastic returns on your investment. But what are you also doing that actually has the potential to not just anti-age you or keep your body hopefully in a healthy state as we continue to move towards our death date, but regenerates your inside to a younger, healthier state? Nothing else. This is it. This is it right here. Super simple, super easy to be a part of your life that will give you a huge return on your investment in what you spend less than a cup of coffee a day to put this on your body. So that's all I have tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got inspired by some of the stories. We hope you'll go out and tell your friends to come back and tell their stories. Every Monday night, I educate on the X39. So come back and ask your questions. That's our foundational technology and patch. On Wednesday nights, Pastor Ed's just, he's just doing all kinds of, changing it up and having fun. And we're all getting to learn all kinds of fun things based on what he studies and puts together for us. So join us anytime. Yes, Vicki, please come on.
I was trying to get to the mic, the mute button. I wanted to add that I had foot surgery a year ago in August. And that was one of the hardest surgeries for me to recover from. And I have no idea why, but I'm on my feet all the time. So I'm sure that's not helpful. But the exercise is necessary it's like therapy, right? So I have to
Right.
strengthen my muscles, get everything moving. Well, what I notice is when the regeneration happens, sometimes it feels like a little ache. It feels like a little, sometimes not. And people
Yes.
mistake that for pain.
That's a perfect description of my back. Ache was definitely the word I was looking for. Yes, thank you.
So I notice sometimes it'll ache, and then I patch it up, and then it goes away. So
Yeah.
I'm just so thankful for it. But this I mean, you can't really. I mean, I'm so thankful for this technology. That's all I can say, because there's so many different aspects that it helps.
Right.
Can I
Yeah.
say anything? Is it too late?
No,
to
go
say
ahead,
something?
please do.
Oh, excellent. Well, one of my brand partners, the poor thing, all her life, she suffered with everything. I mean, you name it, she got it all her life. And so she has celiac, she's had cancer. But being on the patches, she has a lot less stiffness. She doesn't have pain when she gets up. She had the gel in her heel destroyed because of cancer treatment. And so she had bone on, anyway, she has no pain in her heel now at all. In her foot, and it's just amazing. Her life has turned around. But she said that she can't take she can't eat any grains at all, not even a little bit. So she said she can't drink the Celergize because there's corn in it.
Yes, yeah, I know that that's a problem for somebody. So she could, she could get some of the other things, and mix them together, and have her own electrolyte, her own amino acid. You can buy sea buckthorn extract to support your stem cells just on its own. So you can do that as well. So yeah, if she has to stay away from, the thing is, I'm trying to remember, do you guys remember he put out a thing on so which one is it? I'm trying to remember which one it is that has that how we know. Why am I not seeing it on here? I'll have to
You know-
look that up, but there, yeah, do you, okay. Anyway, but the corn portion of it, yes, can be a problem for somebody, but it's not GMO corn. That's why she can't have any kind of, wheat or corn products, is because they're sprayed with glyphosate. And so she's had all of these illnesses, which just flare up inflammation across her body. Corn is pretty much highly toxic in our country. So that has to be, if you're going to eat corn, you need to do it. It needs to be organic. And even that is questionable. So anyway, but I get it if she's got to be like that. So yeah, but she could get her own amino acids and electrolytes and sea buckthorn.
Yeah, she's doing a bunch of stuff separate, and
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
that costs more than the seller
Yes.
dries. So I
Yes,
guess
it
she has
does.
to do that. She has to do that until we ever maybe get a formula that doesn't have it or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
But she
anyway,
has energy now and stuff, and she feels so good. She does had to. I went with her for a procedure. She had nodules on her thyroid, and she wasn't worried about them, but they found something else that's questionable of a lymph node. So I just told her
yeah.
to put glutathione and carnosine all around it and keep her X39 behind her back, and
Yeah.
hopefully,
Yeah. Yeah, and when we're going through really hard things, it's nice to have a technology that we can just put on and it's easy, because guess what? Everything else in our life is hard. Everything else in her life is hard. So to have something this simple to just put on and ease some of the discomfort is just it's so valuable. And so I'm so thankful from that aspect for sure. So thank you for being such a great encouragement to her, Diane. I know that's really she's in a hard time. So yes, we
Great prayer.
definitely need to, yes, pray
Julie,
for her.
her
That's
name's
right.
Julie. She's
Yeah,
gonna
Julie.
get some
Okay.
results in a week.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we
Okay,
definitely
thank
need
you.
to be praying for Julie. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for supporting her so well. So yeah, so I will let you all get back to your Thursday night. Thank you so much for joining us. If you know someone who has an amazing testimony, I would love to be able to interview them on a Thursday night. And we could just talk and they can share their story with us. Everyone's stories are just it's just such a blessing and encouragement to everyone. So anybody that you know, please send them my way. I would love to interview them. But with that, we pray blessing over each and every one of you. Have a great evening,
you.
everyone.
Nikki,
Good night.
Good night. God bless.
Your skin looks great too, Nikki and Vicky.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Beautiful blessings.
Yes. Good night.